Long-term care insurance is for nursing home, for assisted living facilities, and if you get a good policy, it's for in-home care. Now, how many of you in here are over 60 years old? Raise your hand. Good, just a few of you. Okay, how many of you have parents that are living that are over 65 years old? Raise your hand. See, the number one problem facing this next generation, statistically, is not how to pay for their kids' college. It's how to take care of their parents. That's what's coming. Financially, this is a huge, huge deal. I do not recommend long-term care insurance until you're 60. I do not recommend long-term care insurance until you're 60. The probability of a nursing home stay prior to 60 is almost zero. It's a rip. Don't buy it. At 60, on your 60th birthday, buy long-term care insurance immediately, because it changes right there. The stats start shifting right there. I've studied this stuff for years. I am a huge proponent of this insurance because it's so expensive. See, here's what happens. Typically, 75% of you ladies will outlive your husbands. And so what happens is you work and you build up a nest egg of $300,000. And then Pop goes in the nursing home because most of you ladies outlive your husbands. And he stays there $30,000 to $50,000 to $70,000 a year, and he stays there 4 or 5 years. And he pretty much eats up the nest egg, passes away. Grandma's there, she's in great shape, but she got no food money. We left her broke because the nest egg killed the goose that lays the golden eggs, cracked and scrambled the nest egg. And the nursing home knocked that out. And I'm not against nursing homes. I think nursing homes are just like anybody else. They ought to be paid if they provide a service. And if you're buying a nursing home service, I don't know why you think you shouldn't have to pay them. You ought to have to pay them. If the ambulance comes and picks you up, you ought to have to pay for the ambulance. If you buy a car, you ought to have to pay for a car. Why is this hard? You know, so I'm not mad at the nursing home people. Some of them do a better job than others, just like any other industry. But the nursing home will crack and scramble your nest egg. And so have long-term care insurance in place to take care of that. It's not that expensive. The problem is that you have to have this, well, with your parents, you have to sit down and talk to them about it. Now that you've seen this lesson, you have to have the talk. And your parents probably aren't going to want to listen to you about money. Because when you're discussing money stuff with your parents, you face the powdered butt syndrome. The powdered butt syndrome is once someone has powdered your butt, they really don't want your opinion on money or sex. And so when you go to sit down and say, Mom and Dad, we're going to talk, they say, right, you got something to tell me. But you know, the problem is if they don't get this long-term care insurance, or they don't allow you to get it for them if you're financially able, then we could be talking about a $300,000 or $400,000 mistake. I had a friend of mine not long ago, 62 years old, call me up. I had a long conversation with him when he was 62. His wife was 65 at the time. And he said, Dave, man, these guys trying to sell me this long-term care. What do you think about this long-term care? I don't think it's a insurance rip-off. And I said, it's not an insurance ripoff. You need to buy it. You need to buy it right now. And this guy has, I don't know, he's probably got $700,000, $800,000 cash, and he's got some real estate. It's an old family farm. It's probably worth another $500,000 or so, right? So they've got some assets, but they're not just filthy rich, right? They're doing pretty good, though. He's a millionaire in terms of net worth. And literally, he didn't buy it because it was an insurance ripoff. And he didn't go buy it like I told him to. I don't know why he asked my opinion if he wasn't going to take it. I mean, it wasn't a radio call. I spent 20 minutes talking to him, trying to get him to do it. He still didn't do it. Sad thing was, about a year after I had that discussion with him, his 65-year-old wife, in perfect physical condition, begins the first stages of Alzheimer's. An Alzheimer's patient at that age and that kind of physical condition, it's not unusual at all for her to live 15 years. And a lot of that, she'll need care. And so he made probably a $300,000 or $400,000, maybe a $500,000 mistake by not listening to me. I really wish I'd talked him into it, but now I'm just having to watch this unfold. 69% of you out there will spend some time in need of long-term care after age 65. Let me have 10 people stand up right here, beginning with you, ma'am. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10 people sitting there. Would you 3 sit down, please? Yes, sir, that would be you too. Thank you. Okay. That's 7 out of 10 of you will need long-term care. Now, I'm not saying this anytime soon, y'all. You're all looking pretty good, okay? So have a seat. Give them a hand, all right? The last 6 months of your life could be more expensive than any decade of your life. You have to be ready with health insurance and long-term care insurance. It is the most expensive time of your life, is the last 6 months of your life. And you can't hide assets. I'm just gonna move all the stuff out of daddy's name so that we can get the government to pay for it. That is called a federal crime. Okay? Because when the government pays for nursing home, that's under the Medicaid plan, that's welfare, which is designed for people who don't have any money. When you transfer assets out of your name to act like you don't have any money to get the government to pay for your stuff, that's fraud. It's criminal fraud, and they will prosecute you on this issue. They are big time tough, and they can look back 36 months on some types of assets and as far as back 60 months, 5 years on you moving stuff around to hide it so you can get mom and dad on the welfare plan instead of mom and dad on the long-term care insurance plan. Don't even look at, I don't want to retire on Social Security, and I don't want Medicaid taking care of me if I need care in a nursing home. Buy the right kind of financial planning tools like long-term care insurance. This is absolutely vital.